Hello everyone, my name is CCG88 and welcome to episode 61 of the Refurbished Logo Evolution series. I have a long gone but quite memorable television production company for you today. They were one of the earliest big hitters in the television industry. Today's episode is all about 4-Star Television. 4-Star Television, also called 4-Star International, 4-Star Productions and 4-Star Films, was founded in 1952 by 4 prominent Hollywood actors: Dick Powell, David Niven, Ida Lupino, and Charles Boyer, hence the name 4-Star. Their early shows would have involved the 4 main founders. For example, Dick had a show called Dick Powell's Zane Grey Theatre, running from 1956 to 1961. Unfortunately, he passed away in 1963 at the age of 58. 4-Star would eventually be led by Aaron Spelling, the same person who founded Spelling Television. He left the company in 1966. From 1967 to 1989, 4-Star was owned by David Charney. For a short time between 1970 and 1971, 4-Star had a theatrical division called 4-Star Excelsior Releasing Company. Charney sold 4-Star to Compact Video Systems in 1989. Compact Video shut down, with its remaining assets, including 4-Star, were folded into McAndrews and Forbes Incorporated. 4-Star would then become a division of New World. By this point, they stopped producing television shows. In 1993, 4-Star acquired half of Genesis Entertainment. As part of the acquisition, Genesis received 4-Star's television distribution rights. In 1997, New World was bought by 20th Century Fox, thus completely closing 4-Star. Their television catalogue is still owned by 20th Television, which was then purchased by the Walt Disney Company. During their 37-year-long television production run, 4-Star had 7 logos, 6 TV and 1 film. It's these 7 that we will be looking at in this episode, so take a seat and let's get started. Their first logo, like any other television company during the 50s, was very simple. We settled on the nickname Stacked Stars, and it was in use from 1952 to 1956. At the beginning of the credits, you would have seen a 4 production with 4 descending stars in a stair pattern. At the end of the credits, you would see the name of the 4 producers of the show's episode. The list varies depending on who produced the episode. Every major television production studio during the 50s would have had a logo like this, where it just says the name of the company. Seeing it here is no surprise. The whole reason why 4-Star is remembered, at least in the logo community, is because of their next logo, which we call the banner. Some people call it the Banner of Doom. It's their longest used logo, in use from 1956 to 1966. Throughout its life, this logo had 5 different theme tunes. From 1956 to 1959, the logo had a booming fanfare, which was composed by Rudy Schrader. Usually there's an announcer saying, "This has been a 4-Star production."
This has been a 4-Star production.
Or the announcer would be saying, "Filmed by 4-Star."
Filmed by 4-Star. Filmed by 4-Star.
From 1958 to 1965, the music was a rearranged version of the 1956 music, usually in a lower pitch. The announcer this time only says this has been a 4-Star production.
This has been a 4-Star production. This has been a 4-Star production.
Some logo enthusiasts have found an opening version with the word presents. This has only been cited in 1963 so far. The music is completely different. There's another rearranged version of the original music only seen in 1965. From 65 to 66, the logo had a more patriotic fanfare. It was composed by Herschel Burke Gilbert. On 4Star's programs produced in colour, the logo was blue. There are also two in-credit logos.
4-Star Television. This has been a Merrill Heat Bob Quigley production in association with 4-Star Television.
Some people say they don't like this logo due to the loud fanfares or because of the zooming banner, but for the 1950s this is a lot more intricate than other such 50s logos. The banner zooming in quickly is sort of understandable, maybe because it's unexpected, but the normal zooming version makes no sense to me. For the 1950s this is rather impressive. The next logo is simpler. It's also the beginning of the album cover series. This logo was in use from the early 60s to 1965. I have 3 videos. One is an opening version with the word presents. And 2 are closing variants. One animates properly and one just has the logo zooming in. So far we've not had any proper colour. Yes, 4-Star had this blue tinted version, but that's not in full colour, is it? Well, they do have us covered with the Diamonds logo, used between 1966 and 1968. I have 2 other videos with a shorter theme. Not going to lie, I prefer this logo than the banner. It's nice to see a fully coloured logo in the 1960s. The animation might look cheap, but it's more detailed than the 1956 logo. One thing that is sort of irritating though, is the 4-Star kept using the same music. It would be great to hear something completely different but still bombastic, similarly to the 1963 Presents version. Well, in 1968, they did introduce a new theme with their new logo, but it isn't as vociferous as it should be. This is the album cover 2, used between 1968 and 1974. I have found 7 videos. 2 of them are opening variants with the word presents. 5 are closing versions. 4 have the normal theme playing. The 4th version has some clapping. The 7th video has the closing theme to a show. This is a bit of a letdown. It's not a bad logo by any means, it's just not as enthusiastic as the previous lot. The stars appearing one after the other is all this logo delivers. The single orchestral hit at the end was probably only added to make sure you're still awake. The final album cover logo 4-Star had was for their film division. As I said earlier, it was seen from 1970 to 1971. I wish this logo had its own music. It just has the opening sounds to a film. Between 1974 and 1984, 4-Star, for whatever reason, didn't produce any television shows. I wanted to find out why exactly, but I couldn't seem to get an answer. Do any of you know why they didn't produce anything for 10 years? Let me know in the comments if you have any ideas. Anyway, when they returned, they only produced TV shows for another 5 years, and during this time, their logo was this. For some reason, one of the nicknames for this logo on the CLG Wiki is called CGI. It is true that this is a CGI logo, but you could give any CGI logo that nickname. I wish I was joking when I said this. CGI 4 or CGI stars, yes, but CGI on its own, no. Anyway, this logo was used from 1984 to 1989. I was able to find 4 variants. One has an announcer.
Matchmaker is a 4-star international production in association with Kleinman Pollard Hall Productions.
2 are short versions. One has the normal music and one has the ending theme to a show. And the final version has the logo superimposed in the bottom right corner with the word stereo below it. All of these logos are rare to come across today, mainly because the majority of their shows are no longer on the air, and even if some do air, the logo would be plastered most of the time or cut off entirely. Therefore, all 7 of these logos are rare. Ignoring the film logo, this CGI 4 is the rarest according to the CLG Wiki, which caught me by surprise. When 4-Star came back for 5 years, they only produced 3 television shows, so I guess it makes sense why this logo says very rare. 4-Star's name was never seen again on TV after 1989, which is a shame really considering how long they lasted. This final logo itself is completely fine, and it is a fitting end to the company. Overall, none of 4-Star's logos have been terrible. Some are monotonous, but most of the time they're clean, which is good to see. It would be nice for them to make a comeback at some point, but that seems incredibly unlikely at this rate. 4-Star could have lived longer if it wasn't thrown around the room as much. Anyway, that is the end of this episode. Thank you very much for watching, I really hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you all later. Goodbye!